Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The Dharma, infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, study, and follow it. May we fully realize the Tathagata's true meaning. In the first and the second noble truth, we discussed the truth of dukkha and the causes of dukkha. Now this represents one round of cause and effect, where the second noble truth talk about the cause and the first noble truth talk about the effects. Why do we talk about the effects first? Because everybody can see the effects, but not everybody can see the cause. It takes penetrating wisdom to see the cause of the problem. Now the third and the fourth noble truth also represents a cause and effect relationship. The third noble truth, the extinction of dukkha, is the effect, the result. It's the result of the path to the extinction of dukkha, which is the fourth noble truth. Again, we talk about the effect, the end result first, so that we can aspire to the Buddhist practice. And the fourth noble truth spell out the practice. So the third noble truth is the extinction of dukkha. This means that it's not that we somehow get rid of my suffering for now. Like, oh, I get sick, I take some medicine, I'm well again. But then, in the future, I may get sick again. That is not what we talk about today. Here, we're talking about the complete annihilation of dukkha forever. Now, how is that even possible? Well, that does seem to take a leap of faith, doesn't it? But if we use reason, we can see the possibility of the extinction of dukkha. The word is nirvana. Nirvana is the complete and ever extinction of dukkha. Now, by reason, because we already studied how dukkha is formed, how dukkha comes about, because of the false views and the false thoughts. Now, if you can see the reasoning, then you can understand why it is possible. If we are able to eliminate false views altogether, forever, then we do have the chance to eliminate dukkha forever. Okay, so let us now take faith, if you will, that the nirvana is possible. Not only is it possible, it's possible for all sentient beings. Why? Because ignorance and dukkha are empty. So, what is nirvana? What is nirvana like? What is it like to be in the state of no suffering whatsoever? Now, we must say that it is impossible to precisely describe the state of nirvana using words or concepts. But we can try. We can try to give you an idea, a feeling of what nirvana is like. And here are some of the terms. One, extinction. By extinction, we mean the extinction of affliction. Yeah, the causes of suffering. Extinction of krisha. Extinction of false views and false thoughts. And that is possible. we can examine what false views we have, and then what would be the right view to overcome those. And then we are mindful of the right view, and eventually we can get rid of those habits, those thought patterns, these false thought patterns. Okay, so that's certainly doable, and that is a key to our Buddhist practice. For example, Shifu previously talked about mindfulness of body and mindfulness of feeling. These meditations all have the consequence, the effect of getting rid of some of the false views and bring us closer to the right understanding. So that's extinction is a character, we may say, of nirvana, extinction of affliction. Now, with extinction of affliction, affliction being the cause of suffering, we will also be able to extinguish suffering as well. So when we have ended suffering, then that is called liberation. That's liberation. Liberation means the freedom from all dukkha. And birth and death, as we have learned previously in the 12 nidanas, is suffering. So liberation necessarily means there's no birth and no death and rebirth anymore. There's no more samsara, no more cycles of samsara for us anymore. And that is another character of nirvana, which is non-arising and non-ceasing. Now, this non-arising and non-ceasing refers to both physically. We don't need to go through, we're not subjected to this rebirth cycle, rebirth, birth, aging, illness, death cycle anymore. Also mentally, that even a single thought of ignorance is extinguished. So we are in a state of no thought. Now, no thought or no mind doesn't mean we become like a block of wood. No, that's not what it means. It means that we are in pure knowing, pure awareness, undisturbed by any thought, any unwanted thoughts. Okay, and that is a very profound state of being. It is not easy, it's not possible to imagine that. We have to directly experience that. Okay, so another characteristics of nirvana is non-arising and non-ceasing, both mentally and physically. It means that we have transcended birth and death. Another character is tranquility. Tranquility, the mind is in such a deep state of tranquility or serenity that ordinary people cannot even imagine. For example, you have your weekend coming, and then you are able to take it easy, you have no responsibilities, you enjoy the Sunday afternoon, take it easy. Now you experience some sort of tranquility there, right? But the tranquility we're talking about here is much, much, much deeper. You cannot even imagine how beautiful, how serene that joy of tranquility is. You can possibly experience some of that by going into a deep meditation, when we are able to achieve a samadhi, some level of samadhi, some level of deep concentration. You can begin to understand that serenity, that tranquility. So it's amazingly peaceful. In fact, nirvana is the highest, the ultimate form of that tranquility, and it's also being called ultimate bliss. Now, why is being peaceful, being tranquil, being serene. Why is that why is that blissful? Well, if you have meditative experience, you would understand. You will understand why doing nothing, just being in the present, with a mind totally clear, can be so blissful. And nirvana is you take it to the limit, the ultimate limit. That ultimate bliss is nirvana. And another way to characterize nirvana that is related is stillness. By stillness, we mean two possibilities. One, the mind is totally inactive. Now, that's not easy. If you try to tell your mind to stop and do nothing, you won't be able to do it, right? It's only with great skills of meditation, you can achieve that deep stillness for a period of time. But still, that is not ultimate stillness. Nirvana is ultimate stillness, and that's only achievable by removing all the factors that can disturb the mind, that can make the mind unstill, that can make the mind agitated. What are these factors? False views and false thoughts. So you see how everything is tied together. So when we destroy false views and false thoughts, our mind will be able to achieve a state of ultimate stillness, which means it's not disturbed by anything at all. Now, that stillness of nirvana, then one can either stay in that stillness and allow the mind to be inactive and just enjoy that pure bliss, which is what many arhat chooses to do. They just stay in that bliss of nirvana, that stillness, endlessly. But then there's another way to experience that stillness, and that is the bodhisattva way, which means that the mind can be active. Yes, that seems like a contradiction. The mind is still but active, but it's not a contradiction. The stillness we're talking about here means the mind is not disturbed by anything at all. And when you clear your false views and false thoughts, you are not disturbed by any thought. Not by other people's words, not by people's actions, not by what's happening in this world, not by what's happening inside. So you're not disturbed by anything inside or outside. And then you can raise thoughts. You can generate thoughts to benefit sentient beings, and that's what bodhisattvas do. They think about how to skillfully guide people to this nirvana, to this liberation. So that's how the bodhisattva make use of that stillness. Okay, so stillness is another way to characterize nirvana. So we know how to get to nirvana by ending false views and false thoughts. When we end the causes of suffering, we will also end suffering. But we would like a more solid or specific method to achieve the ending of dukkha. And that's the fourth noble truth. That's the truth of the path to the extinction of suffering. Now, there's not just one single path, but the path that the Buddha set out for us is a great example. It's an example that all of us can follow. There are certainly other ways to achieve the enlightenment, to achieve the extinction of dukkha, but this is a very good method that we should all study. And that's the Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path, another fundamental teaching of the Buddha Dharma. Now, if you have taken the level 1 Chan class at Zhongtai Center, then you have studied all of this already. That doesn't mean you have mastered it completely. This takes many, many iterations to understand it deeper. So again, we'll just give an overview here. So the Eightfold Path are right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi. What is right understanding? It's the opposite of false views, right? When we remove the false views, we have a right view, a right understanding of ourselves, others, and the world. Okay, so for example, my Shifu's favorite example, when somebody is insulting you, the false view would be, hey, you're insulting me, you're hurting me. I should get angry. But the right view is, well, there are several possible right views. The right view is, oh, you're giving me a gift. Or another right view would be, oh, thank you for your criticism. Let me examine whether what you say is true. If it's true, I thank you. If it's not true, I throw it away, right? Another right view is, these are not worthy of my time. I just ignore it. So we replace the false views with right view, and the suffering goes away. And our thinking process that follows, right thought, will bring us closer to enlightenment. So right thought, right speech, and right action. Certainly our speech and our physical action follows from our thinking process, right? And so right thought, right speech, right action, these create a right karma, the good karma, and they all stem from right view, right understanding. Okay? So these four are the general idea of the practice. Now, the fifth one is right livelihood, and that refers to our career, what we do to make a living. Yeah? And so that means, at the very least, our career, our job, which we spend quite a number of hours every day doing, right? Minimally, it should be legal in the country you live in. And two, it does not harm other sentient beings. If you work in a slaughterhouse, that's definitely not a right livelihood, because you make your living by killing other sentient beings, making others suffer. So, right livelihood. Another way to think of right livelihood is for many, many careers. Instead of thinking, oh, this is my job, it's how I pay my bills and support my family. That's one way to look at your job. Another way to look at your job is that, hey, this is something I have to do, but then it is also a chance for me to serve society. Think how your job help you to be a part of giving benefits, serving the society. If you look at your job that way, it should better motivate you. It changes the karma around. Instead of a selfish survival karma, it becomes a karma of good deeds. Right livelihood, whatever you do, as long as it's not direct killing. Think how through your job you're actually serving people. And number 6 is right effort. Right effort is basically refers to everything before. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood. Whatever we do, we are diligent. We put in effort. If we don't try to cheat our boss by stealing away another coffee break, you get your deserved coffee break, but then we put in the right effort. Yeah, and then if we are doing cultivation on our own, we put in sufficient effort every day. We are diligent in the right direction. Okay, that's right effort. And then number 7 is right mindfulness. That's even more fine-grained. So moment to moment to moment, whatever we're doing, Even if we are not working, we're just talking with friends, taking a break, doing some hobby, whatever you're doing, do it with mindfulness. We explain what mindfulness is: being present, being clear-minded, being objective, being focused, and doing something that's meaningful. So that's right mindfulness. And when you can achieve a state where morning and night, almost all the time, you can stay mindful, you will be able to achieve right samadhi. Samadhi is a deep meditative state, a state of deep concentration with mindfulness, with right mindfulness. And with that, you will be able to penetrate the very core of false views and achieve enlightenment. So that is the crux of the Eightfold Path. Now let us think about the Heart Sutra line. There's no suffering, no cause, no extinction, no path. Shifu already explained why suffering is a truth, but also no suffering is a truth. Let's look at the path, the fourth noble truth. There's no path. What do you mean there's no path? You need a path to get to enlightenment. And you need enlightenment to get to nirvana. So there's definitely a path. Is the Eightfold Path the only path? No, there are other paths. 12 Nidanas, the reversal of the 12 links, is another path. Yeah, the practicing the four establishment of mindfulness, Satipatthana, is also a path. So there are many different paths. What is a path? A path is a method for you to get to your goal. When you get to the goal, which is nirvana, and you look back, it's like when you cross a river, you need a boat. Once you cross a river, do you still need a boat? You don't need a boat. So at that point, path is no path. It's no longer needed for anything, so it's not a useful thing anymore. So before we cross the river of suffering, we definitely need a path. Once we cross the river of suffering, then the path becomes just something that you don't need anymore. That doesn't eliminate its importance. It is relatively important. But if you still carry the boat with you as you walk, that would be silly. Okay? So when we understand the importance of a path, of a method to enlightenment, but we also understand the emptiness of a path, then our mind is freed. As a bodhisattva, we can think about what is the path for this person? What is the path for this person? Maybe for this person, because of his conditioning, I can simplify the Eightfold Path to Fivefold Path, Threefold Path, and that will be perfect for him. Maybe for that person, I need to expand the Eightfold Path into the 37 factors of enlightenment. That is what he needs. Okay, so there's no fixed path. The path is empty. Not that there's no path, but the path is empty. So in your mind, you understand the process from ignorance to enlightenment. And you're freed then to set up a path as needed. And then to dispense with it when you don't need it anymore. Maybe you set up this path for this person, and halfway through, something changes, and you notice that, and then you modify the path. So no path is the best way to set forth a path, because then you have infinite choices. It just depends on how wise you are, how perceptive you are, and what the other person that you're trying to help need. Okay? So, no suffering, no cause, no extinction, no path. So if we explain the first and the last, you can think about the second and the third. Why is there no cause? Why is there no extinction? That can be your exercise. Okay, with your understanding of emptiness, you can do it. That is also why the Heart Sutra says next, there's no wisdom and no attainment. There's nothing to be attained. Why no wisdom? What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability, the knowledge and the insight to reach enlightenment. So why no wisdom? Because the true wisdom is just suchness. Once you are enlightened, you see things as they are, no more, no less. No increasing, no decreasing. It's just the way it is, suchness. Can you call that wisdom? It's just the way it is. The reason we call it wisdom is to teach people to go against unwisdom, which is ignorance, false views, false thoughts. It's just like what we explained about the false views. Once we destroy it, you see the emptiness of it. Okay? So, no wisdom. Another reason we want to emphasize no wisdom is that when we do gain the wisdom of enlightenment, we do not become proud of it. We do not think, hey, I have the highest wisdom now. How come you are so dumb? Yeah? An example is, let's take a worldly example. Let's say we have a very good Nobel physicist. He's top-notch in his field of physics. Does this physicist think every day, hey, I'm a Nobel physicist, I'm better than all of you, I know things that all of you don't know? No. A really genuine, good scientist doesn't think that way. What does the Nobel physicist would think? He would think, hey, he would know that he has this expert knowledge, and he will be able to discern what is correct information and what is incorrect information about his field. But he also knows the limit of his knowledge. He would tell you immediately, that question I cannot answer because I don't understand it. It's not my field of expertise. He knows his limit. So in this way, he knows what he knows. He knows what is right and what is not right. He knows what he doesn't know. Now that is a very wise person. Now Buddha has complete wisdom, but then he doesn't think that he's better than everybody. He thinks that everybody can be a future Buddha. So that's another way you can see, yes, Buddha has the wisdom, but then he doesn't think about how much wisdom he has. So no wisdom and no attainment. What is attainment? Attaining Buddhahood, attaining nirvana, attaining that profound state of being. But that profound state of being is just suchness. It's just the way it should be, just the way it is. It's like you lost your diamond, which you put it somewhere and you forgot about it. You have that treasure and you don't know where it is. And finally you discover it. You got it, but you haven't gained anything. You haven't obtained anything. You just recover what you already have. So with our mind, we already have what it takes to achieve Buddhahood. And by the time we go a long way and get there, we haven't obtained anything extra. We just recover what we already have, what we already should have. Okay, so there's no wisdom and no attainment. There's nothing to be attained. It basically summarizes the whole spiritual path. Now, Let's look at a couple of examples. Bodhidharma, in his Essence of Mahayana Practice, there is a line, and I quote, "The sutra says, to seek is to suffer, to seek nothing is bliss. It follows that to seek nothing is to truly follow the way." If we have something to obtain, we seek it, and once we get it, we say, "Hey, I got this." But with the spiritual path, we seek something, and by the time we got it, we realize it's something already within. Okay? And also another saying by Chan masters of the past is that if there's a bit, then there's still a little bit. 有一些些，还有一些些. What does that mean? If there's any more, just a tiny bit of belief that something is real, or anything is real, or anything is obtainable, anything can be possessed, then there's still that attachment, and there's no complete enlightenment. So if there's a little bit, then there's a little bit. Something we can contemplate on. With that, we conclude this part of the Heart Sutra. Let us review what we have talked about today. Shifu gave an overview of the Third Noble Truth, which is Nirvana, and went through several characteristics that help give us a sense of what Nirvana is about, even though it doesn't precisely describe the state of Nirvana. Nirvana is a state of complete annihilation of suffering forever. And to do that, you need to destroy false views and false thoughts. And we also talked about the Fourth Noble Truth, which is the path to Nirvana. And we give a quick overview of the Eightfold Path, which deserved to be studied in detail. All the Four Noble Truths deserve to be studied in detail. Okay, but for now, we'll just do this overview and why there is suffering, there's cause to suffering, there's the extinction of suffering that is available for everyone, that is possible for everyone, and there's a path that we can follow to Nirvana. Okay? But on the other hand, we can also look at why we can also say there's no suffering. Why suffering is empty. Why we can say that the causes of suffering is empty. Why we can say that Nirvana is empty. Why we can say that the path is empty. That will bring us to an even deeper level, a more complete understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Let us now conclude with a dedication. May we embellish our body with the fragrance of the precepts. May we nourish our being with the practice of samadhi. May the flowers of prajna wisdom bloom everywhere. And may wherever we are, we will enjoy bliss and tranquility.